big city life was a change, but you did your best. Now it's got your one-way ticket to midnight. Calling heavy metal. I'm feeling just right. Calling.
We have such sights to show you.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show today. I'm the Drunk Kitten Tribbles. Hey, please hit like and subscribe if you like what we do here, and I hope you brought some beers.
All right, folks, welcome to Ultimate Radio Show here on YouTube. A bit of a different sort of program tonight. I wanted to do a little bit of history on a friend of ours over on Ultimate Radio. He's been there almost from day one when we first started about 13 years ago. And I'm talking about Bill, the Electric Church, who might not be a household name to a lot of people, but as I go through this thing in my own dumb way, hopefully I get it right. If not, I'm sure he's going to let me know. But you'll see just exactly what kind of influence he's had on music going from the late 60s, middle 60s, all the way up through the 80s. It's just, his history's amazing. I want you to welcome my co-host tonight, who I warned not to get too drunk, the Kitten Tribbles.
Hey everybody. Yeah, boss, that Bill Church is a really cool guy. He always shares his beers with me, but I think we should get this thing going. Going back to the mid-60s, he was with a band called the Justice 5, along with several other friends of ours on Facebook. Sadly, one of them, our friend Mike Mander, passed away not too long ago. We are pretty lucky to still have some of the music from the Justice 5 from way back in those days.
Luckily, it appears that two songs from them actually did survive.
Change, but you did your best. Now it's got you bugged and you just can't take it. You're gonna flush it all back your clothes and make it, baby.
All right, yeah. Bill Church on the bass. That one. Another real interesting thing from back there in the late 60s. Bill was in another band. And one of his band members was a guy by the name of Floyd Rose. Now, he never made it famous as a musician, but he did make it famous for inventing a little thing called a Floyd Rose tremolo, which, fits on the guitar, and $30 million later, he actually, Floyd Rose was in a band in the 80s, a metal band called Q5. Which was a pretty good band. So, anyway, let's move on to the next part of the history, Kitten.
This next band Bill was in with Ronnie Montrose. It was called Sawbuck. Also, a good friend of ours, Mojo Collins, was in the band. I still remember one Sunday morning, the high command got a phone call, and it was Mojo Collins, and those two talked for about 3 hours. I don't know if it was about at this time when this was made, but Bill told me a story about one night they were partying in Bill Graham's office in San Francisco. Him and Ronnie and the singer Melanie, and some way or another, they managed to light his office on fire.
It's funny, at the time, I think all these guys were actually living in Reno.
I never knew my father. They say he was shot down. But I'm going to San Francisco, gonna leave this town around.
All right. Yeah, and then we move on to the next phase. Bill and Ronnie Montrose actually went to work for Van Morrison and did two of his iconic records. So let's see what we can find out about that, Kitten.
Yeah, boss. They actually worked with Van Morrison on the albums Tupelo Honey and St. Dominic's Preview. Two very, very popular albums in the early 70s.
You know, I've often told Bill that I thought some of his very best bass playing was when he was with Van Morrison.
Can you brush your shoes? Stand before the mirror. And you comb your hair. Grab your coat and laugh. And you walk wet streets trying to remember all the while not breathers in your memory ever.
All right, yeah. After their little stint with Van Morrison, Ronnie and Bill left the band and they went and formed a band called Montrose. And they were actually called the American Led Zeppelin at the time. So, Kitten, what have you got for us on the band Montrose?
That was a cool band, boss. Very heavy. They had Ronnie Montrose on guitar, Bill Church on bass, Denny Karamasi on the drums, and a young singer by the name of Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, when I was a kid, next to Led Zeppelin, I mean, this was some heavy stuff.
Alright, come on now. Oh yeah. Got it in me, got it in me. Gonna quit until it all comes out. Gonna do it, ain't nothing to it. Just shake my hips, throw my head back and shout. Been a long education, but my homework is done. I'm gonna rock the nation.
All right, yeah, Rock the Nation. You know, there were a lot of really good songs on this. Another one is Bad Motor Scooter. I believe Sammy wrote that song. And also, it wasn't too long after this album that Sammy had left the band and took Bill Church with him, and they formed the Sammy Hagar Band. So, what have you got for us on that band, Kitten?
Yeah, man. Bill Church stayed with Sammy Hagar through the last half of the 70s and into the 80s until Sammy joined Van Halen. A really interesting story. In the middle of, I believe it was Bad Motor Scooter, on one of the albums, I first heard Sammy refer to Bill as the Electric Church. And I never forgot that. And I imagine a lot of other people never forgot that either.
Actually, here is that clip, so you can actually see how it did come down.
First thing in the morning with a feel alright, alright. Alright, alright. Get in the bed, motor scooter. Ride, ride, ride. Ride on up. That motor scooter. Bill Church on bass.
The Electric Church.
The Electric Church. The Electric Church. Why? He's been sniffing glue tonight, man.
One thing you can always say about, Sammy shows, and I've seen several of them here online, like the Checker Dome and, this one and several others. The band always looks like it's having fun on stage. And that's got to count for something. What do you think, Kitten?
Yeah, boss. It would amaze you how much energy these guys put out in the course of a 2 hour or 3 hour show. It's just amazing. I just wanted to mention too that the co-lead guitar player, Gary Peel, he's actually spent a lot of time playing with Boston. He's also done albums with our friend Robert Berry in the band Alliance. He's also done several other things. Just a world-class player.
Okay, man, just to take care of some housekeeping here. Like I say, the book, I believe now it's available on Amazon. You can get it there. It's funny because I was talking to Trevor Church one day, and Trevor, Bill's son, has his own metal band called Haunt. And he was telling me that, he wanted to try to help his dad get a book written about his biography, and he was looking for an author. So I mentioned Martin Popoff, who I happen to know, and he's written several biographies for rock stars, including Ronnie Montrose. So yeah, he actually went with Martin, got his book done, and there we are. The last thing I wanted to play was the DHC band, a little project Bill kind of did in his later years, which the music's very, very cool. I don't know how much fame they got out of it, probably not much, but it's a very, very cool band. So let's go ahead and just take a little bit of a listen.
She packed up your heartstrings and ran for the stairs. You were caught unprepared for a fate almost too hard to bear, and a heart in despair. All the people prayed when the rain came, some only knowing her by name. Bring her back to us, talk of yesterday. Only through you could I know her, know her, know her. I wish the rain never came.
All right. Yeah, they're a very cool band. You can find all their stuff on YouTube. I never asked. I'm sure there's a CD out there somewhere you can probably get. But yeah, that was, Bill, in all the years, the stuff I've outlined, he's done countless other smaller projects with different people, but no matter what he's done, it's always been cool and it's always been good. But I hope you like this. It's by no means its full history, but as much as I could do in the short period of time I have to do these videos, I tried to cover the main points. So I hope you folks liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
All right, boss. Like you say, Bill's been a member over on Ultimate Radio for a long time, almost since we opened the doors over there. So if you get a chance, stop by Ultimate Radio and give him a shout out or tag him. Maybe he'll give you an answer. But anyway, we're going to get out of here today and get some beers. We have to do the Metal Monday show over there tonight at 4 p.m. Pacific time. So if you have nothing better to do, stop by and listen to some metal.